This movie was not very good. And the version I watched had a different title for some reason. Um, as you can see, it says Accidental Switch, but it also says A Mother's Revenge. I watched one that was called A Mother's Revenge. But it's basically just the same thing, different title. The Mother's Revenge one makes no sense. Because the only thing she gets close to getting revenge is, she punches him in the face once. He's about to kill her with a knife. She's fighting, she's struggling. And he eventually gets the knife from her. She only gets one punch on him. That is it. Then the cops shoot him after he gets the knife. The cops suck in this movie. They don't know how to do their job. Just watch it. I don't even want to talk about it. It's just like so annoying how bad they are at their job in this movie. The main villain in the movie, 95% of his lines are just him being sexist. It gets cringy after a while. It's just like, oh my god, can you shut up, man? You're not creepy. You're just weird. Like, 95% of his lines are just sexist. He'll go like, if you give the woman advantage, she'll hold it over your head. This and that and this and that about women. There's even a scene where he's like, it was just painful where he goes, I think it's best when women shut up or something like that. Like, he starts talking to the girl's ex-husband that he's been hunting. And they just both be sexist together. He later kills the husband off screen. Most of the movie is just her running around. And this movie wouldn't work if she was poor. Because he sends her to an aquarium where she has to spend money to get in. He sends her to Niagara Falls, I think is what it is. There's a waterfall there. And she has to pay to get in there. So this whole movie wouldn't have worked if not for that. And he literally just, sends her just everywhere, just messing with her. Until eventually he goes to a public place. I don't know how he did it. He got to Niagara Falls somehow with a kidnapped person, attracted no attention, and then just stood by a waterfall waiting for her to get there. Then, there's also a weird thing where, he says that if she doesn't answer the phone, he will kill her daughter. She doesn't answer the phone, he doesn't kill the daughter. She gets there, is about to answer the phone, but she doesn't answer it in time because she has to take it out of a little baggie because he put it in water for some reason. And it quits ringing, so she starts having a little bit of a breakdown, but then he calls her back immediately. And he's like, what took you so long? And she was like, well, I had to take it out of the baggie. And then he starts being sexist again. But not before he goes, I almost feel bad for putting you through all this. Oh, and his reasoning for killing the husband was like, he wanted it to be a one-on-one thing. He didn't want anyone else to get involved. Even though he says, if you involve anyone else, I'll kill your daughter. What? that you're gonna threaten her by telling her, hey, you can't involve anyone or I'm gonna kill her. But then kill people without her even getting anyone involved. Just because of your bullshit logic. He also uses a traceable cell phone but doesn't get caught. It wouldn't be a big thing if they didn't make a big deal about him using non-traceable phones. He uses non-traceable phone in the water thing that I told you about, and he leaves one at a baseball field that he sends her to. But then at the same time, he's using the daughter that he kidnapped that's been missing for 72 hours at least. Using her phone to call the mother. And then the police acknowledge how she's been missing for a while, and that how she missed a graduation celebration. But they're like, you know what? We shouldn't track her phone, trace her phone, see who's been using her phone and making calls. Because he's been using her phone, even though he made a big deal of using non-traceable phones. He's still using a traceable phone. What the? Are you stupid, man? And I don't know why he didn't just break her phone or get rid of it or whatever and start using a non-traceable phone. Since the only reason she wasn't answering his own known phone call numbers was because for some reason she didn't want her ex-husband to hear her talk to him, even though she wants her ex-husband to believe her. I don't think they gave him a name. That's the only reason I'm referring to him as that. But yeah, she's like, oh my god, I'm worried about her. She's been gone for so long. And then, stuff like that. But she won't answer the phone in front of him when it's an unknown phone call. That's the only reason. Because she answers an unknown phone call the first time. She gets creeped out, so she doesn't answer it again. But then later in the movie, she is about to answer it. But she remembers her husband is in the room. Also, like, it's a bit weird with the whole explanation. With the whole unknown phone call. She goes, I don't answer unknown phone calls. And he's like, it's okay if you have, like, another guy in your life or something. He's like, I told you, I don't answer unknown phone calls. But they were married, remember? So since she casually answered an unknown phone call earlier, you're telling me she never did anything like that around her husband? Because the only reason she's not doing it now is because she doesn't want him to hear him for whatever reason. But in their entire marriage, never answered an unknown phone call for some reason. That's just not believable to me. But yeah, this movie was pretty garbage. Though the plot was sorta interesting, like they accidentally switch a suitcase because they both look kinda similar. They're both black with a little bit of yellow. But his happens to have some illegal counterfeited money in it. So he makes this huge deal about it. He couldn't just ask her for it. He just decided, you know what, the best way to go about this is to kidnap her daughter, kill her husband. All this just because he stole some illegal money that he's gonna sell. Couldn't he have just asked for a suitcase back? He had it in a hidden compartment. He didn't just have it laying in the suitcase. She couldn't even find it when she went in it. Like, it could have been so much better. That thing could have been solved so easily if he just was like, hey, could I have my suitcase back? I have your suitcase. And that is it. He has no reason to believe that she found his stuff in a hidden compartment. Why hide it if you think everybody's gonna find it? I don't know. It could have been solved easier. It was very stupid.